Guys, Creative Katie, Karen Burchill here. Welcome to my channel and an art journal tutorial. I'm really excited about this one. I love how it turned out. So I'm starting in my Canson Mixed Media 7x10 art journal, and I have this 6-inch Stencil quadrangle fan, and I'm looking at that one little motif, and I'm going to take some gesso that has thickened over time, but you can buy extra thick gesso or mix gesso with modeling paste. I like putting gesso through the stencil. It's one of my favorite things to do. It dries quicker than the modeling paste, gives little less texture, but you do get the same or similar effect. And I just love doing this. Just a cautionary advice, make sure you clean your stencil when you put gesso through them. They do tend to be a little harsher than acrylic paints. So you're going to want to throw this in a tub of water or take time to clean it before you move on with your page. A while ago, people wanted a video on all my vintage stencils and stamps, and I am preparing that, and this one gets into it. I'm using 3 colors here, a little different from my usual. I'm using quinacridone gold, yellow iron oxide, and cobalt turquoise. And these are all from the Deco Art Americana Premium paint. The only reason I have these is they went on this massive sale and I thought I would use them and I would test out this, especially the quinacridone gold. And that's this orangey, burnt orange color. And I love this. If you don't have that, you can use burnt sienna, I believe, is an orangey color, or mix a brown with an orange. You're going to get something similar. I'm adding water to this and working it onto the page just with my fingers. I just feel more comfortable doing it with my fingers. I find I get a better blend. I'm adding a little bit of white gesso in here. And of course, I let the thick gesso that I push through the stencil dry before I'm doing this. And it typically dries faster than modeling paste, which when you're impatient like I am. I did see this color scheme being used by a couple people in YouTube videos, so I thought, you know what, it's a winning combination. I love how it looks. Let's see where this can take me. It didn't turn out where I thought it was going to go, but I'm so in love with the finished product. So here I'm adding yellow iron oxide. This is similar in tone to Naples Yellow in the Liquitex Basics. Use what you have. If you don't follow me on Instagram, go after watching this video and become a follower on Instagram at Creative Katie. I've also renamed my Facebook group. It's now called Art Journal, Art Journaling and Mixed Media Creations. Love for you to pop over there and join the group. I'm spending a little more time there, putting up challenges such as the color scheme challenge and other things. I plan on making it worth your while to be in my group. Love to see you. So I'm mixing the gesso with the paints, and that's giving some softness to the page. It's helping to blend the colors together, and you get more variation in colors because you've got the straight up quinacridone gold and yellow oxide, and then you've got the mixed of those two, and then you've got all the variations. I want to keep some of each pure color. And if it's getting too blendy, you can wipe it back like you just saw me doing, or let it dry. And once the acrylic paint is dry, you can put on top. Now I've got a piece of packaging here and I'm pressing into it, and that's giving some other great texture and very organic marks. So much so that I keep doing that. It's just, it's not being picked up on the camera, but it's a case of using what you have by you. Don't have packaging, you can use a piece of parchment paper. What you want to do is build interest with marks or textures. And here I'm just putting the white gesso right onto the packaging and then pushing it down. And I've seen a similar thing, Sean Petit doing this. If you're not watching her channel, go and watch it. She's an absolutely wonderful. Love what she does. She puts the gesso on parchment paper and presses it in. And this is giving some areas of likeness, and it's very unpredictable, which once you get over the perfectionism, you can embrace that and you end up with some wonderful, wonderful results. Now I'm taking the turquoise and I'm going to put that in. Now, oh, look how it just pops. They are opposite each other on the color wheel, and that's why you're getting this wonderful pop. They play off each other so well. And I just want to put a little bit of this in here. At this moment in time, I'm just interested in using the colors. That was the goal of doing this page. Testing out some stencils, working on my collection of vintage ones. That was kind of a secondary goal. I had no idea beyond creating a background using these colors what I was going to do for a focal image. And typically what I do is I go through my stash. I've got different themes. I've got flowers, I've got butterflies, I've got stamps, I've got stencils that I could use as focal images. And I kind of go through what I have and see what may work with the size that I'm on, with the colors that I've got going on, and go from there. Now this stencil is a great vintage stencil. It's called Vintage Scrolls. And both of these are from the Crafters Workshops, and I will put a link below. And you can get many of the 6-inch stencils at Ninny's Napkins or the Shopify store by TCW or even on Amazon. So shop around and get yourself the best price. So I'm just using the same colors, the full-on version, nothing, no gesso added, and just adding again more detail. I don't want this to be upfront and kind of in your face. I just want a little bit of detailing. I want this old world vintage wallpaper kind of look. And again, I'm loving that motif. I'm loving what's happening here. And I definitely be using both of these stencils again and this color scheme. There isn't anything about this that doesn't just make me happy. Now I'm taking the makeup sponge that I have some of the quinacridone gold on it and just rubbing it on top of the textured areas. Just to I want that pattern to show. I want to bring out the texture. I want to make that a little more to the front. You're going to see me keep tweaking it and getting it to where I'm in absolute love with it. So I have this Harlequin stamp. I believe it's red rubber that I have. Again, it'll be in the description box below. But you can use the TCW Harlequin stencil as well. This was just a little handier. I'm using a brown, and I'm burnt umber, I believe. Just adding it. Again, just a little bit here and there. Camera cap fell off, but we just keep going. The show must go on. Adding a little of the brown on top, and you can see how it's coming out even more, that pattern. And I'm going very lightly over it. You could also use the Ranger blending foams, and if you wash them right away, they last a long time. It's just I have the makeup sponges so handy that I often forget about the blending foams. And adding some brown around the edges. And where I have the taped off area, I'm just going to rub the sponge. I think I break down and decide to do the floating acrylic technique along that straight edge. I grab my archival ink and this Stampers Anonymous stamp. There's numbers, there's dictionary, and there's script. This is from Tim Holtz, and I'm adding it this way. At this time, I'm thinking I'm going to do the page in this orientation. I end up turning it. It's background interest. It doesn't matter. The goal isn't to read it. So now I'm adding a little bit of black on here just to bring out that texture. One more. I'm bumping it up just one more time. Ever so lightly, and adding a little bit of the black around the edge. Each time I go around, each time I'm adding another color, it's just adding in one more layer. And there, yes, I'm floating acrylic with the black. I want to frame this page. Ever have the experience where you love the background so much you're afraid of putting anything on top of it? It's just like, I'm just in background love. Thought about splattering gold, would have worked really well. So here I spend some time going through my stash and I come up with this butterfly, which I purchased, I think, at the dollar store. And the blue, it's more green on the butterfly. It's not as turquoise. So I am just going and putting a wash of the turquoise on top just to make it a little bit more in the same of what I've been doing, the colors that are there, just to make it match. If you don't have a die cut that's purchased, you can stamp and colorize it yourself. Now this is heavier cardboard and it had a bit of a finish. If it doesn't have a finish, if it's raw paper, you may want to put a coat of clear gesso or gel medium to seal it before you put a layer of paint on it. It'll help take for the paint to take. At this time, I get into my quote journal where I have all my sentiments, and I'm flipping through the various sentiment packs looking for the perfect quote. If you're interested, I did make a video showing how I set up my organization system for my sentiments, which you can use for your sentiments, digital sentiments, as well as your stamps. Loving this one, Every Moment Matters. I take it out and I shrink it down to the size that will fit my page. And speaking of videos, there is a video that is coming out soon. Maybe it'll be out before this one, where I show how you can take a digital PDF and resize my sentiments so that it will fit any page that you want to put on, even an ATC. You can make it bigger, you can make it smaller. That white is a little too stark. So I'm colorizing it. I put some of the yellow iron oxide, and then I put some of the brown. It just, white was too white. And even that just seemed a little too clean. So then I go in and add a little brown and grunge it up. First, I start putting brown around the edge. And then I just take a little bit and just really just grunge it up with that brown. And then it looks like it fits right in. So I'm auditioning the orientation. Do I want to go this way? So I take a picture. Or do I want to go this way? What looks better to me and my eye? So I take another picture and then I go back and forth and back and forth. Sometimes taking a picture, giving it a few minutes, walking away is a great way to just kind of decide. And I decide to go this orientation. And because this is thicker paper, I'm using gel medium, not fluid medium, in the matte finish, and that works good. But I take a little bit of a detour here. I decide that I want a little more of this quadrangle fan motif on here. I'm just loving the texturized one so much, but I just want to add a little bit here. So I get the brown, and I choose brown as opposed to the orange because I want it to stand out more than some of the ones that are there already. And I know I'm covering up most of it. This is one that I would consider doing on a canvas. The colors, everything came together. And that's one of the reasons I do art journaling too, is I can play with things, color schemes, ideas, and if I get something that really works, then I know how to do it on a canvas. And there I'm putting on a generous coat of the gel medium because this paper is fairly thick. And then I put the gel medium on top as well. The paint must not have been dry, or maybe it just didn't seal properly. I'm getting a little bit of blending, but it all works. And I clean out the gel medium out of the brush before I put it in the water. It just helps get it out of the bristles. Now I'm doing some shading around the butterfly and around the sentiment. I'm using my angle brush, which I love for using when I'm doing negative painting and when I'm doing shading. Hopefully you can see as I do this how it improves, how it's making that butterfly really pop. And I just add more. I put down some and then I can come back and add a little bit more if I want to build it up. If you don't want to do butterflies, you can put anything on there if it's the color matches and the size fits the page. So you could do a similar background, but put a totally different focal image on it. I do the videos not necessarily intending for you to copy and create exactly what I have. If you find one thing in here that you like, use that as the jump start to your art journal page or mixed media piece. That's my goal. I've just finished the Index Card a Day challenge, and I was very happy to work on a larger substrate. It looked like I had so much surface to do different techniques with. And a little bit of black splatter. I hope you love this page as much as I do. I hope you give something that I've done here a chance and a try. Join my Facebook group, Art Journaling and Mixed Media Creations. Follow me on Instagram. Give me a thumbs up for this video. Share this video with your creative friends. And we'll see you for our next tutorial.